Okay, let's dive right into this. When you picture a startup CEO, what comes to mind?
Probably someone right at the center of everything, right? Juggling a million things, making all the calls.
Exactly, calling every single shot. But what if that whole image, that entire traditional structure is actually, well, breaking?
Yeah. What if it's just not the best way anymore?
Right. What if a business could, in essence, run itself with no traditional boss, no CEO at all?
That sounds pretty radical, doesn't it?
It does, and that's precisely what we're exploring today, the no CEO startup model. Our sources for this deep dive are some really insightful excerpts looking into this innovative approach. It seems to be quietly gaining significant momentum.
Definitely seeing more of it.
So our mission today is to unpack exactly how this model works, why it's gaining so much traction.
And crucially, how you listening might be able to use it.
Yes, how you can start applying its principles to your own work or business, whether you're, say, a solopreneur, a freelancer, or even part of a small team.
And what's really fascinating here, I think, is how this model just fundamentally flips conventional wisdom on its head. It's a big shift.
Totally.
It promises a significant shift in how you might view leadership, hiring, even the very foundation of building a startup. Get ready for some genuine aha moments, I think.
Yeah, I think it could really reshape your thinking. So when you visualize a typical startup, you probably see that, young, scrappy founder running on fumes, buried under email.
Investor decks, hiring decisions, product choices, maybe even doing customer support at 2 a.m.
Totally. The CEO title looks great on LinkedIn, right? But behind the scenes, it often just means Chief Everything Officer.
You are the bottleneck.
Exactly. You are the system. And when you stop,
everything just grinds to a halt.
It's like that traditional pyramid structure, the one we've always seen as the gold standard.
Yeah.
It's starting to show some serious cracks.
You're absolutely right. I mean, the traditional startup playbook, it was really built for a different era. An era that often prioritized, like rapid scaling and growth at all costs.
Yeah.
Often by just throwing more people at problems.
Right, just add headcount.
But today, with remote work being so common, almost the default for many.
And all these powerful asynchronous tools changing how we collaborate.
Yeah, that old CEO-centric model, it just, it doesn't scale efficiently anymore. It really starts to break down.
So what are some of the first cracks that appear?
Well, one of the most immediate problems we see, and our sources really highlight this, is the founder bottleneck.
Okay.
The founder becomes the ultimate hub. Everything flows through them: strategy, hiring, feedback, product, vision, fundraising, all of it.
Right.
And the sources point out, as a business grows, decisions don't just grow linearly. They grow exponentially.
Oh, okay.
Suddenly, the founder finds they're no longer building, just approving things. They're often drowning in Slack messages, Zoom invites, task lists.
Sounds exhausting.
It is. This makes the founder the single point of failure. The business essentially orbits them, depending on their availability, their energy, even their mood.
That doesn't sound like effective leadership.
No, it's inherent fragility. It's not sustainable.
And what else breaks down?
Another critical flaw. Meetings become the work.
Oh, yeah. The endless meetings.
Startups might begin lean, right?
Yeah.
But once a team hits, say, 5 or 6 people, boom, meetings multiply.
Stand-ups, syncs, one-on-ones.
Those quick chats that are never quick.
Right. Calendars just get jammed, yet it feels like little actual work gets done sometimes.
Exactly. And meetings are incredibly expensive. They burn time, they break focus, and critically, they create dependency.
How so? Dependency.
Well, the sources point out that everyone waits for approval. Everyone defers decisions. Everyone fears going rogue, so they won't act without a meeting.
Ah, so it slows everything down.
Massively. This isn't a fast-moving startup anymore. It's become a delay factory.
Okay, that makes sense. What's next?
Then there's how titles create silos.
Right, the org chart.
As soon as that chart appears, with CEO, CTO, head of X, it immediately creates boundaries.
People start thinking, that's not my job.
Or I'll wait for the head of X to decide. Speed just dies.
Yeah.
Our research suggests this traditional org chart becomes a wall, not a launch pad.
A wall. I like that description.
It stifles innovation, especially in smaller teams. It directly contradicts that desire for ownership, autonomy, and speed that startups are supposed to be all about.
Okay, bottleneck, meetings, silos. What else?
Well, we can't ignore the myth of the hero CEO.
Ah, the charismatic leader.
Exactly. We've all seen that inspiring image. the leader making bold decisions, carrying the company on their shoulders. It looks great in articles.
Sure.
But the truth is, this model is ultimately unsustainable. It's often ego-driven, and it builds a company that simply can't survive without one person doing everything.
Right. And what happens when that hero CEO burns out or steps away?
The whole company shakes.
Yeah.
You just cannot sustainably scale a business if everything depends on one individual.
It sounds more like a high-stress job than a scalable company.
It's a job with a fancy title, not a scalable enterprise.
Okay, and there's a human cost to all this too, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And finally, the human cost, burnout, is baked in.
Yeah.
The constant pressure, those endless meetings we talked about, blurred work-life lines, and that feeling that if you stop, the whole machine just collapses.
It's a recipe for founder burnout. And team churn too, I bet.
For sure. We've actually normalized stress, haven't we? It's like a badge of honor in the startup world.
We have, yeah. Hustle culture.
But it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? How many brilliant ideas have died just because the founder couldn't sustain that pace? What if the most sustainable, maybe even the fastest growing startups are the ones designed to run without constant stress?
What if structure was more important than just hustle?
Exactly. What if structure, not hustle, was the real growth hack?
Wow. It really makes you rethink the entire foundation of what we consider a successful startup, doesn't it?
It does.
And that's the perfect segue, actually, because the no CEO startup model, it seems to directly address all these cracks in that old way of building things.
Right. Instead of that founder bottleneck,
You get distributed ownership.
and instead of meeting overload,
You get async clarity.
and instead of hierarchy and silos,
You get roles that shift, evolve, and adapt. It's a structure without a singular ego at the center.
and the key thing is, our sources show it really works. It's not just theory.
Okay, this all sounds incredibly compelling, but, the practical question I think many listening might have is, how does a business actually operate without a CEO?
Yeah, the how.
It's easy to dismiss this as maybe just idealistic theory.
Sure. Sounds nice, but
Exactly, but you're saying it's not. It's already working, quietly, efficiently, and in many cases, wildly profitably.
that's right. And the answer lies in 4 core principles that really power this model.
Okay, let's break those down.
Precisely. Each principle is designed to remove those bottlenecks we talked about, increase speed, and genuinely empower your team with ownership.
Got it. Principle 1.
First up, we have principle 1, roles over titles.
Okay, roles over titles, what does that mean exactly?
So in traditional startups, you get locked into rigid titles, right? CEO, VP of growth, and these quickly create boundaries.
Yeah, the not my job problem.
Exactly. People start thinking that way, and speed just dies. In no CEO startups, there are no rigid titles like that. Instead, people own roles, and these roles can shift as needed,
So it's more fluid.
much more fluid. Today, you might be leading a product initiative. Next week, maybe you're handling a marketing sprint.
Okay, that sounds like it could be chaotic, though.
It might sound like it, but it's actually a system built for adaptability. Think of it like a startup version of positionless basketball.
Okay, where everyone can do multiple things.
Exactly. Everyone on the court can shoot, pass, defend, adapt to the flow of the game. It creates this kind of fluid excellence.
I like that analogy. Okay, principle 2.
Next, principle 2, asynchronous by default.
Async first. We hear this a lot now.
We do, and let's be honest, most meetings are a massive waste of time.
Agreed.
They interrupt deep work, they force everyone into the same time box, regardless of their flow or time zone.
Which is terrible for remote teams especially.
Totally. So no CEO startups operate asynchronously by default. This means decisions get documented, not just discussed in real time.
So writing things down is key.
Absolutely. Tasks get assigned with full context, not just some vague call. Updates happen in writing, not mandatory stand-ups.
Okay, and the benefit is?
Async work has a major superpower. It scales without noise.
Scales without noise. Interesting.
You don't need to be in the same room or even the same time zone to stay aligned. And crucially, it forces clarity.
Forces clarity. How?
Because, as our sources note, when you write instead of talk, you actually have to think.
Ah, right. You have to structure your thoughts.
Precisely. This is why no CEO startups often feel calm, not chaotic. Things are documented, clear, accessible.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. What's principle 3?
Moving on to principle 3, autonomy with accountability.
Okay, autonomy and accountability. How does that work without bosses?
Well, the biggest myth about flat organizations is that they're lazy or disorganized, right?
Oh, yeah, that's the common critique.
But no CEO startups are flat, precisely because accountability is baked into the system itself.
Okay.
Everyone owns outcomes, not tasks.
Outcomes, not tasks. That's a key distinction.
Huge distinction. So you're fully trusted to get the result without micromanagement. The twist here is what our sources call radical accountability.
Radical accountability. What does that look like?
It means if you miss a deadline or drop the ball, everyone knows. Because results are visible, often on a shared scoreboard or dashboard showing shared metrics.
Transparency is key then.
Total transparency. This means people don't wait to be told what to do. They see the goal, they see the metrics, they decide, they build, they ship.
It sounds like running a startup full of mini founders.
That's exactly the phrase used in the sources. For instance, instead of telling someone, hey, read a blog post about X,
You'd say
something like, okay, your outcome is to increase inbound leads by 5% through content this quarter. How are you going to achieve that?
So you shift from micromanaging the task to empowering them to achieve the result?
Exactly. Big shift.
Okay, and the final principle.
And finally, principle 4, systems over superstars.
Systems over superstars. This sounds a bit counterintuitive, maybe. Don't startups need superstars?
Well, most traditional startups are built around 1 or 2 rock stars, right?
Yeah.
But what happens when that person burns out or leaves?
Yeah, the company takes a huge hit.
Exactly. The no CEO model doesn't worship talent. It worships systems.
Okay, define systems in this context.
Systems are repeatable, visible, and teachable processes. They don't rely on someone's memory or genius or, 90-hour work weeks.
Got it. Can you give an example?
Sure. Instead of hiring a social media manager and just telling them to figure it out from scratch.
Which happens a lot.
Right. A no CEO startup would build a repeatable content system. Maybe with weekly brainstorms documented, clear creative briefs, scheduling workflows, KPI dashboards tracking performance.
So the process is defined.
The process is defined and visible. Our sources emphasize, even if the person changes, the outcome doesn't.
Wow.
And this applies to everything: sales, onboarding, product launches.
So the idea is that great systems make average people excellent.
Exactly. And maybe even more provocatively, excellent people replaceable. In the best possible way.
Replaceable. That sounds a bit harsh, maybe.
It might sound harsh, but it's a really profound reframe, I think. It's not about devaluing talent at all.
Okay.
It's about building an anti-fragile organization. One where individual brilliance empowers the system, yes, but the business doesn't falter if a superstar moves on.
So that resilience is the insight.
That's it. That's how you build something that truly lasts beyond any one individual.
Okay, let me try to recap those 4 principles quickly then. You've got roles over titles, so people adapt easily. Async by default, so communication skills without all the noise and chaos.
Right. Yeah.
Autonomy with radical accountability, so people genuinely own outcomes. And systems over superstars, so your business doesn't depend on a single hero figure.
You got it.
And you put those 4 things together and you get a lean, fast-growing, maybe even sane startup where the entire team thinks like owners.
That's the goal.
Now that we've covered the fundamental principles, you might be thinking, okay, this sounds great in theory.
Right, the show me the proof moment.
Exactly. But who's actually doing this? It's a fair question.
You're right, Ferris.
And the answer seems to be more companies than you might realize. So let's try and bring this to life with some real-world examples. Businesses quietly built on this very foundation.
Yeah, no corner offices, no 9-layer org chart.
Just lean systems, distributed ownership, and outcome-driven teams. Who's first?
Okay, a prime example is Gumroad.
Yeah, the platform for creators.
Exactly. Founder Sahil Avinja built it with no meetings, no full-time employees, no traditional hierarchy, and achieved millions in revenue.
Wow. No meetings, no full-time employees. How?
Mostly async work, clear documentation, and leveraging contractors and part-time contributors who owned specific outcomes. Sahil famously said, "We want to build a billion-dollar company without ever having a meeting."
That's ambitious.
It is. And what's fascinating is, when he actually stepped back from the day-to-day operations for a while, the company apparently got even leaner and more focused.
That really proves the system worked, doesn't it?
It's a perfect illustration. It's about designing for speed, clarity, and trust right from the beginning.
Okay. Who
And
else?
there's Levels, the metabolic health company.
Okay, health tech. I might expect a more traditional structure there.
You might, but Levels operates without traditional exec meetings and with radical transparency.
Radical transparency, like how?
They even publish internal memos publicly sometimes.
Seriously? Wow.
Yeah. Their team is fully remote, fully asynchronous. Everyone's accountable for their own decisions and initiatives.
So very much aligned with those principles.
Totally. Their head of growth summarized it perfectly, saying, the team doesn't need top-down pressure. They need clarity, autonomy, and trust.
Clarity, autonomy, trust seems like the core ingredients.
Exactly. Teams propose projects rather than just waiting to be assigned tasks. Updates are shared in writing, not endless Zoom calls.
Okay, another great example. Who else?
And we really can't talk about this without mentioning Basecamp, which is now called 37 Signals.
Right. They've been talking about this stuff for years. Pioneers, really.
Absolute pioneers.
Yeah.
They've been operating without a traditional CEO model for over a decade. Their whole mantra is calm companies win.
Calm companies win. I like that.
Yeah. At 37 Signals, everyone works 40 hours a week, sometimes less. There are no daily stand-ups.
No daily stand-ups. Heresy in some circles.
Right. And projects are planned in these clear 6-week cycles using their shape-up method.
Ah, yeah. Shape up. Giving teams focus time.
Yep. Exactly. Uninterrupted time to deliver. And look, they've been profitable for over 20 years.
That's incredible longevity.
Without hypergrowth, without burnout, without chaos. It's a real testament to the sustainability of this approach.
Okay. Gumroad, Levels, 37 Signals. Any other areas where this is taking off?
Yes. And here's where it gets really interesting, I think. This model is exploding fastest in the solo founder world.
Oh, really? Like the indie hackers and solo sauce founder?
Exactly. Think about companies like Fathom Analytics, Plausible Analytics, Tallyforms.
Yeah, often tiny teams, sometimes just one person.
Right. These companies of one, as they're sometimes called, they use automation heavily, async contractors, templates, really comprehensive help docs.
They build systems because they have to.
Precisely. They intentionally avoid hiring big full-time teams because, as they've realized, systems scale. People don't. At least not in the same way without adding complexity.
So how do they manage things like support or marketing?
They run customer support, often via templates and knowledge bases. Marketing through repeatable content systems. Development maybe with trusted freelancers owning entire modules.
And they're successful doing this.
Often more profitable on a per-person basis than many VC-backed startups. And they rarely burn out because the business isn't solely dependent on their constant presence.
That's powerful,
And
building a business that doesn't consume you.
Exactly.
So looking across all these different examples, Gumroad, Levels, 37 Signals, the solo founders, what's the common thread you see?
Yeah, there's a really consistent pattern, isn't there?
Seems like it.
No daily micromanagement. A really strong preference for asynchronous communication over synchronous meetings.
Right. Async first.
Systems are genuinely prioritized over just relying on individual superstars. Trust is the core operating principle, not control.
Roles adapt. They aren't rigid titles.
Exactly. And a robust documentation over just spoken instructions or tribal knowledge.
So it really comes down to this isn't about being anti-leadership at all.
Not at all. It's about fundamentally redistributing leadership throughout the entire company into the systems themselves.
Okay. So now we've seen how this model works in practice with these examples. You're probably thinking, listening to this, okay, cool, but that's them. Can this actually work for me?
Yeah. Can it work in my business and my team?
Right. And the answer seems to be absolutely yes, but
Make that.
it requires a significant and maybe often counterintuitive shift in how you think about building and leading.
Let's address that directly then. First things first.
Yeah.
Forget company size. Stop thinking you need to be big to do this.
Okay, instead,
think system quality. There's this huge myth that you build robust systems after I scale.
right, I'll get organized later when we're bigger.
Exactly. But our sources firmly state that scaling chaos, more chaos.
Makes sense.
If your startup is messy and depends entirely on you when it's just 2 people, it'll be exponentially worse with 20.
So the no CEO model reverses this.
Completely. You build the machine first, you design yourself away from the controls, and then you let the machine run and scale.
Even if it's just you, a solopreneur.
Especially if it's just you. You need systems that don't depend on you showing up every single day. You can, and probably should, build that now.
Okay, good point. Is this model right for everyone, though?
Probably not. Second point. It's worth clarifying that this model works best for specific types of founders and teams.
Who is it not for?
It's probably not for micromanagers or, founders who really need that direct control, who want to be the central decision maker for everything.
Okay. And who is it ideal for?
It's ideal for systems thinkers, for builders and makers who inherently dislike meetings, for founders who value freedom over authority.
Freedom for themselves and their team.
Yes. And it's particularly effective if you run a remote team, if you're bootstrapping, or if you're prioritizing long-term sustainability over just rapid, maybe unsustainable growth.
Why those situations specifically?
Because it designs leadership into the system itself. So there's no gatekeeping, no information silos, just clarity leading to action and results, which is crucial for remote or lean teams.
Okay. So know thyself, basically. Understand if this fits your style.
Right. And third point, please don't feel overwhelmed by this. Don't think you have to change everything tomorrow.
Good advice. So start small.
Start with just one shift. You absolutely don't need to overhaul everything overnight. Pick one thing.
Like what? Give me an example.
Okay, instead of assigning tasks, maybe just focus on assigning outcomes for one project.
Okay.
Or instead of running that weekly mandatory meeting, challenge yourself. Could this be a shared document instead? Just try it once.
Or hiring for functions instead of rigid roles.
Exactly.
Yep.
Or stop making every single minor decision yourself and try building a simple decision tree for common issues.
So the idea is just to start asking the question.
Asking, how can this run effectively without me being directly involved? That one question, asked consistently, can start to rewire your entire approach.
Turning one-off actions into repeatable systems.
That's how systems thinking starts. One small change at a time.
Okay, that feels more manageable. Can you give us some concrete steps to start this transition?
Absolutely. Let's talk about 4 simple but really high leverage steps you could start applying today. Step 1, audit your time like a system architect.
Ooh, I like that. System architect.
For one full week, track everything you actually do. Every meeting, every email, every tiny micro task. Be brutally honest.
Okay, then what?
Then critically ask yourself, which of these tasks are absolutely dependent on me versus those that could be handled by a system or documented or delegated.
That sounds like it could be revealing, maybe painfully so.
It will be truly eye-opening for most founders. Because if your business can't function without your constant input, our sources warn, you don't own a company, you own a job.
Ouch. But true. And jobs don't scale.
Exactly. Step 2, start building no-you systems.
No-you systems, okay.
Pick just one task that consistently eats up your time or creates a bottleneck. Maybe it's client onboarding. Maybe it's answering the same 5 support questions over and over.
Okay, got one in mind.
Instead of explaining it or doing it manually every single time, document it once.
How? Like a checklist?
Could be. Or record a quick Loom walkthrough showing how it's done. Create a Notion guide. Set up an automated email sends using a tool.
Got it. Document it once, well.
Yes. And boom, you've effectively removed yourself from that process forever.
That sounds incredibly freeing.
It is. Make a habit of doing this just once a week. Pick one process, systematize it. Your business will start to feel lighter, more capable of running without your constant direct intervention.
Okay, audit time, build no-use systems. Step 3.
Step 3, shift from people-dependent to process-driven.
Okay, what's the difference?
A common mistake, especially when things get busy, is just throwing more people at problems instead of fixing the underlying process first.
Right, hire someone to handle the chaos.
Yeah, but that just adds more communication overhead,
Yeah.
more potential bottlenecks. In the no CEO model, clear processes come first.
So fix the process before adding people.
Ideally, yes.
Yeah.
So choose one part of your business, let's say content marketing again. Document its step-by-step process really clearly. Create templates, decision guides,
Yeah.
make it foolproof,
Okay.
and then delegate the system, not just the vague tasks.
Delegate the system itself.
Right. Now, instead of saying, can you write a blog post? You're saying, here's our content engine. Here's the playbook. Here's what great looks like. Take the wheel and run with it. See the difference.
Huge difference. Much more empowering and scalable. Okay, step 4.
And step 4, replace meetings with clear, async communication.
Back to async.
For true freedom and leverage, our sources say this is basically non-negotiable.
Why so critical?
Because, as they put it bluntly, meetings are the tax you pay for bad documentation.
Ooh, that's a quote to remember. Meetings are the tax for bad documentation.
Right. So before you reflexively say, let's hop on a call, pause.
Yeah.
Ask yourself, could this be the decision document? A quick voice note, a Loom video explaining something?
Challenge the need for the meeting.
Exactly. Start small again. Maybe just try one meeting-free day a week for your team.
What happens then?
You'll probably notice your team starts thinking more for themselves, documenting better. And momentum actually goes up, not down, because they're not constantly interrupted.
Because async forces intentional communication.
Exactly. Every message is designed to move the project forward without needing that real-time back and forth for everything.
Okay, those 4 steps seem very actionable. Audit, build systems, focus on process, go async. Anything else needed?
Yeah, there's also a significant mental shift required. This is maybe the hardest part for some.
Okay.
You have to actively redefine what leadership looks like for yourself.
What do you mean?
Letting go of direct control feels weird at first. You're used to being the go-to person, the one with all the answers.
Sure, it's an ego thing too sometimes.
Totally. But you're not disappearing. You're just changing altitude.
Changing altitude.
You're going from being the primary operator, the hands-on doer, to being the architect. From reacting to situations to proactively designing the frameworks for situations.
So less doing, more designing the system that does the doing.
Precisely. Real leadership in this model, the sources suggest, is not managing people, but rather creating a business where people don't need a boss to thrive.
That's a powerful reframe. Architect, not just operator. Are there any other, maybe more advanced tactics for people who really want to lean into this?
Yeah, for those who want to accelerate this transformation, the sources mention some optional power moves.
Okay, like what?
You could build a public How We Work page for your company, like Levels does. Really transparent.
Okay.
You could use OKR's objectives and key results or shared scorecards to make outcomes incredibly visible.
Right, that radical accountability piece.
Exactly.
Sure.
Run monthly retrospectives, but do them asynchronously written reflections shared over time, not in another meeting.
Interesting. Keep meetings for only essential syncs.
Right. You could even create a formal decentralized decision framework, basically a document outlining who makes what kind of decision, under what circumstances, without needing central approval.
Wow, that's getting serious about distributing ownership.
It is. And of course, leverage AI tools more for operations, content generation, customer support,
Yeah.
anything that can be systematized or automated.
So lots of ways to deepen this approach.
Yeah. Every one of those nudges you closer to a system that truly runs itself, freeing you up.
And what's the outcome? What does it feel like when you start to make this shift successfully?
Imagine waking up and there are no urgent Slack messages demanding your immediate attention.
Sounds nice.
Imagine your team clearly knows what to do because the systems and goals are clear. Imagine your role organically shifts from being the primary doer to being the chief designer, the architect.
So you get space to think again.
You get to think strategically again. You might actually enjoy running your business more, finding that flow in your work.
And maybe take a vacation.
And perhaps the best part, you can genuinely leave for a week, maybe even 2, and nothing burns down. Because the system runs.
That's the dream for many founders, isn't it?
It really is. That's the profound promise of the no CEO model. It's, as the source material puts it, not less responsibility, but significantly more leverage.
More leverage, that's the key. Okay, so to sort of bring this all together, the core essence of the no CEO model, it's about systematically removing the need for a traditional CEO.
Without removing leadership itself. Leadership gets embedded in the system.
Right. It's a framework where structure replaces stress and freedom becomes the operating principle.
Well said.
And as we've seen through these concrete examples, from Gumroad to Levels to solo founders, this isn't just theory, this is happening.
It absolutely is. Now look, most people will hear this, feel inspired for maybe 5 minutes, and then do nothing. Go back to the old way.
Yeah, inertia is powerful.
But you're listening to this deep dive, which tells us you're probably a builder, a doer, someone who wants to improve things. So here's your challenge for this week. Just one thing. Pick one system, one process in your business that's currently way too dependent on you.
Okay, just one.
And make it your mission this week to build it to survive without you. Document it. Delegate it using the documented system. Automate parts of it if you can. Just fix that one thing.
Make it a no-you system.
Exactly. And once that system runs on its own, simply stack another repeatable win, then another.
One system at a time.
That's truly how a no CEO business is born. Not overnight, but one repeatable win at a time, building that resilient structure.
That feels achievable, and it leads to a really provocative final thought, doesn't it?
What's that?
Because once you stop running the business day to day, you can finally start growing it.